Funding for Shaperless is provided by
Squarespace, the sponsor of today's video. Just when you thought my rankings of every Star Wars movie by arbitrary criteria that ignores the quality of the movies themselves couldn't get any dumber. Have you ever wondered which Star Wars movie makes the best use of the color red? No? Well then, I'm afraid you just don't have a very inquisitive mind, my friend. Red is the coolest color ever. Except maybe purple. I'm still on the fence about that. But when I was a kid, red was always my favorite. And it features pretty prominently in the Star Wars series, since every film at least has a red lightsaber in it. Even Rogue One and Solo, which we're not gonna rank because I'm a Skywalker Saga purist. Seriously though, why does Darth Maul turn his lightsaber on in Solo? What's the point of that? Other than just for there to be a lightsaber in the movie. Well, regardless, in addition to the lightsabers, there's also vivid uses of red in the scenery and the lighting across this series. Some of those uses are pretty meaningful and have a lot of symbolism attached. Some of them look cool as shit. And some movies use red better than others. So let's take a look at which Star Wars movies fucking suck when it comes to turning red, and which ones are ready for the big leagues. Oh, I have a good feeling about this.
We'll leave as soon as you're ready.
Holy shit, was George Lucas allergic to red when he made A New Hope or something? There's barely any red in this thing! A lot of the movie takes place on Tatooine, a planet home to orangish tan, I guess? Whoop-de-doo, it's not red. I guess the sunset is kind of red-ish, but you can definitely argue that's more purple than anything. There's some red behind Leia when she gives the plans to R2. Hell, R2 has a blinking red light. That's something, you know? God, this movie sucks by my arbitrary red-loving criteria. I can't say I'm surprised, though. The movie blatantly lets you know its red-phobic agenda early on, when Luke and Uncle Owen select the red R2 unit, only for it to break down, prompting them to replace him with the blue R2 we all know and love. Blue. Oh, Red Eye craves not these things. You are a reckless piece of shit, George Lucas. Embarrassing the color red like that by making its representative droid malfunction after 10 seconds. Unbelievable. What else is red in this movie? The land speeder is reddish. There are a bunch of red lasers. We can see the red blood pouring out of Ponda Baba's severed arm. None of these are enough to satiate me. We at least get a little more red on the Death Star panels, the trash compactor room, as well as some on the Falcon. Plus, Yavin is red. God, if only there was a red planet in real life. I don't think there is though, that's too bad. Okay, this is looking a little bit rough, but at least we have our ace in the hole. The red lightsaber, that can help pick up the slack. How does Vader's red lightsaber look in this movie? Kinda shitty, actually. It's way too pale and washed out, even after the special edition enhancements. Which reminds me, in the original cut of A New Hope, there's actually a scene where they didn't add the red onto the lightsaber. How embarrassing. Okay, A New Hope really needs another ace up its sleeve. And we might have that in the form of the call sign Luke and his fellow rebels use in the final battle. They're the Red Group. Red 5 standing by. Simply Red standing by. Big Red standing by. See, they say the word red a lot in the final dogfight. That's pretty cool, isn't it? I'm not impressed. I mean, paying lip service to the color red without actually showing it on screen that much kind of annoys me. Why are all their pilot uniforms orange? Would it have been so hard to just make them red, George? How come when there's a red droid that you verbally acknowledge as red, it's a complete piece of dog shit? But then when you have the positive red force for good blowing up the Death Star, they're all wearing fucking orange. Hell, even in the medal ceremony where Luke could be living up to his Red 5 moniker, instead he's got yellow on. Does this man own a single piece of red fucking clothing? Ridiculous. This is pretty handily the worst Star Wars movie at being red by a country mile. Thankfully, it only gets redder from here.
Yep, enjoy this red.
Alright, let's keep this brief. The Rise of Skywalker primarily takes place on Exegol. Exegol is blue. You do the math. After 2 wonderfully red installments in the series, the sequel trilogy kinda just fizzles out into blue nothingness, with some green and orange planets for good measure. I don't know, man. For a saga that consistently posited red as the color of the overwhelming evil of the Sith, I kinda would've liked a little more red in this movie about the Eternal Sith cult. The path to fly to Exegol is red as hell. Like, that looks sick, dude. More of that, please. And this movie introduces the Sith Trooper, which is, what if a Stormtrooper was red? You know what? I can't believe it took 9 movies for Star Wars to ask that. See, even Satan in movie form has his positives. There's other bits that make me happy as a red enjoyer, like the red robes donned by the festival goers on Tatooine 3. There's also the outfit of Zori Bliss. Remember Zori Bliss? She got into Fortnite somehow. Let's see, C-3PO has red eyes for one scene. Kylo's lightsaber still exists. I don't know, this feels like a futile effort. For a movie that should feel dark and hellish, Rise of Skywalker just isn't committing to the red that this story really calls for. I mean, seriously, why are you blue? The surroundings of Exegol make for a pretty weak color contrast to Rey's lightsaber and Palpatine's lightning. Imagine how cool these things would have looked if the background was red! That's basic color theory, dude! My friend jokingly suggested that maybe they made this movie so blue as a way to contrast with how red The Last Jedi was. But honestly, considering how much resentment this movie expresses towards The Last Jedi, I feel like that's a legitimate possibility. Maybe it wasn't even born out of malice. Maybe they just wanted to do something different since they knew they couldn't out-red the previous movie. But I don't know. I just think there were a lot of missed opportunities to make this a worthwhile conclusion to the saga, if we're solely basing the quality of the movies on how red they are. It's not dead last, since it does have some cool moments of red, but it's arguably the most disappointing in this department. And in general.
Not red.
Return of the Jedi is famously the green movie in the original trilogy. From the green lightsaber, to the green Endor, to I don't know, Yoda's in this one again. But just because a movie is green doesn't mean it can't also be red. Words to live by. First of all, we finally have pilots in the Rebel Alliance who are f***ing wearing red. Was that so hard, George? Look at my boy Nine Numb rocking that red vest. Aw man, it's everything I could have hoped for. Well, actually, that's not the truth.
It's a trap!
I'm just kind of starved for red content from the original trilogy. The real win here in terms of ready-made goodness is the Emperor's throne room. From that ominous red marked door to the introduction of the iconic red Imperial Guards. These dudes are awesome. They don't do anything, but they're awesome. I really like how Clone Wars establishes that they're the successor to the blue Senate Guards. A perfect reflection of how the Republic transitioned into the evil Empire. Palpatine's guards reflect his outward persona, which is now Evil Monster Man. I love these dudes. Back when Patrick and I were kids, we played with Legos, and we had a red Imperial Guard figure who we established as the anti-chosen one. The only character in the galaxy as powerful as Anakin Skywalker, except he was pure evil. And we named him Crayola, because of the one Robot Chicken sketch where Palpatine calls one of them Crayola.
Hey, Crayola, help me shut this vent.
Look, you guys don't understand. Crayola is the most epic OC in the history of Star Wars. Anyway, the red around Palpatine's eyes is so sick. Vader's lightsaber has never looked better in this trilogy, and the interior of the Death Star in the battle to blow it up has tons of intimidating red surroundings. It's not a whole lot of red in the grand scheme of the movie, but it does introduce some solid red elements that have become cornerstones of the saga. The Imperial Guard is the key to all this, because he's a redder character than we've ever had before.
I am red. Ben, tell him I'm red.
Okay, so at first glance, The Empire Strikes Back is kind of even worse than A New Hope in the red department. There's practically none of it in the first hour outside of little bits and pieces. As it turns out, a snow planet and a swamp planet are not great places to find red. Who would have guessed? But it's not about the size of the red, it's about how you use it. There's probably less overall red in Empire, but I distinctly remember it being used to great effect to set the mood in a few key scenes. When Luke takes off from Dagobah in his X-Wing and Yoda is bathed in white light, only to transition to a slight red when he says, "No, there is another." It just looks so damn cool, man. This is such an impeccably well-directed movie. The red lining the halls when Vader tells Lando that Leia and Chewie can never again leave the city. Another great mood setter. It really is tragic that the carbon freezing chamber has orange lights instead of red. That would have really hit the spot. But oh well. The primary reason I'm giving the red edge to Empire, even though it really does seem like it should be ranked last, is because of Vader's lightsaber. The color itself still isn't my favorite shade of red for a Sith saber, but I just like what an ominous, unstoppable force it represents. Both it and its owner loom over Luke throughout this entire battle. That shot where he's just on the ground with the lightsaber practically pinning him there, outstanding. The red lights in this structure also encircle Luke, emphasizing that there really is no escape for him. And I love his red eye. I've seen this movie a million times, and I still don't know exactly how he got that red eye in this fight, but man does it establish how beaten down and bruised he is physically and emotionally from this duel. Oh, and R2 dispelling the sinister redness of the malfunctioning hyperdrive and turning it blue when he reactivates it and lets them escape is a good touch as well. Don't get me wrong, I am still pretty disappointed with Empire Strikes Back as a red whole. I feel like there was a lot of opportunities to emphasize the darkness of this film by adding the color, either in the carbon freezing chamber or especially in the Dagobah cave. Imagine that shit bathed in red, dude. But ultimately, while this isn't a great showing for the color overall, the little bits of red that are here gave me a lot more to chew on than the red we get in the 3 movies ranked below this one. Not bad, but God, we needed more. Anyway, I hope you're ready to hear about Squarespace. Yep, that's the transition we're going for.
Squarespace is a wonderful online website builder that enables you to create beautiful websites for your business or personal hobby. I adore how easy they make it to showcase your expertise and engage clients with video content on your website. You can make stunning video libraries and even monetize your content by adding a paywall. Perfect for online courses, exclusive tutorials, and premium workshops. If you want to get discovered fast, that's where integrated Squarespace SEO tools come in. Every website is optimized to be indexed with meta descriptions, an auto-generated sitemap, and more, letting you pop up more often on search engines and attract way more customers. Squarespace also offers lots of built-in donation tools. You can create a professional, on-brand website that makes it easy to accept one-time or recurring contributions, and engage your supporters. Use built-in email campaigns and marketing tools to connect with your community and inspire more people to support your cause. Check out squarespace.com/ShayFrillis for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use promo code ShayFrillis to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain.
Obi-Wan is ready.
I am ready.
Alright, this is where we start getting to the good red movies. 10 minutes into The Phantom Menace, you can already see George making up for how little red the original trilogy had in tremendous ways. It's clear that he was finally able to achieve his true vision, free of all the technical limitations at the time that prevented him from putting so much red on the screen. Look at this. Newt Gunray is decked out in red. Queen Amidala's absolutely serving with that red outfit. The security battle droids got red on them. I know they're called security battle droids because I played LEGO Star Wars. Even the damn ship Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan take on this mission is red. Holy shit, dude. This rules. I'm already tempted to call this the best movie ever based on what a red-derful impression it makes right out the gate. But wait, there's more. After we sit through a rather annoying marathon of orange, courtesy of the Gungan City and the Queen's handmaidens outfits. Also, Jar Jar is orange, but I don't want to be racist. After those first 2 annoying orange things, and after a nice appetizer with the pilot room at the Queen's ship being kinda red, we get the main damn course. Darth Maul. The reddest motherfucker in the galaxy. Staring into his beautiful demonic face is a dream come true. I mean, he's just so red. Oh man. I will admit, we do gotta sit through a lot of bullshit, not red Tatooine sand just to see him at his fullest potential. There's also some anti-red propaganda where Qui-Gon cheats and makes Watto's chance cube land on blue. Blue. All my homies hate blue. But soon enough, we get Darth Maul in all his red lightsaber glory. Wow, I forgot how shit his lightsaber looks in this first duel. It's like all the sand corrupted it and took away its redness. I don't like sand, damn it! Fortunately, we get a nice look at Palpatine's red room here at the Senate. as well as the nice red Jedi chairs. Let's talk about that final duel with Darth Maul now. Oh my lord, the double-bladed lightsaber is heavenly. Mix it in with how red Maul himself is, plus the ray-shielded doors separating the duelists with some sinister redness, and you've got a recipe for a truly unforgettable climactic fight in the red department. Tragically though, this is only a quarter of the film's climax, and it's doing all the heavy lifting in terms of showing off some red. I would have loved to rank this movie higher, but I just don't think Phantom Menace is fully committed to this whole red thing quite as much as some other films in the series. It's got some of the highest points in the saga of red Star Wars, but considering how many redless stretches you have to sit through in between these peak moments, as well as how few locations really get bathed in red like our top contenders, I can't really justify ranking it too much higher. Maybe if the orb Boss Nass lifted into the air when he shouted, "Peace!" was a red orb, then I'd be singing a different tune right now.
200,000 units are ready.
Attack of the Clones gets a lot of red points for firmly establishing that Obi-Wan Kenobi is a purveyor of red. Whether it's his loyal droid R4 or his Jedi starship, it's pretty plain to see that red is his color.
Red's not my color.
Shut up. Apart from that, there's a couple nifty instances of red across this movie. The Chancellor's quarters are all decked out in it. We see Zam Wessel's scope gives her some nice crimson Virtual Boy vision. The 50s diner that Dexter Jetster owns. Need I say more? Unfortunately, there just isn't a whole lot of red inherent to the planets in this movie. Kamino is all white on the inside and blue on the outside. Geonosis consists of more lame-ass orange sands. Well, at least we don't have the shitty orange Tatooine sand in this movie. Oh wait, we do. I miss my red tails. I miss it a lot. I'll be back. Let's see here. In one shot, the clones are all decked out in red. That's cool. Jango has red screens on his ship. And okay, maybe I spoke too soon because Obi-Wan does indeed land in some pretty red looking sand on Geonosis. I'm just saying, this is like the one red part of the planet. Do you see any red in the terrain in any of these other scenes? Didn't think so. Thankfully, we pick up a lot of the red slack here in the final act. Thanks in no small part to iconic red characters like Shaak Ti and the Reek, but also a ton of red lasers being fired in all directions by the battle droids. A New Hope having red lasers wasn't enough to satiate me, but when you got this many of them, okay, that's awesome. I gotta give you props. I also love how the Death Star plans are a red hologram. It's a small touch that really sells how ominous they are. But my personal favorite red touch in this movie is when Anakin cuts the power when dueling Dooku, allowing the two of their faces to be illuminated by the blue and red lights of their lightsabers. It's a really cool lighting effect that makes you forget how shit the editing of the fight itself is. Oh, and don't even get me started on the red, terrifying, evil side of Coruscant. That's a nice touch as well. Overall, while there are plenty of stretches that really lack prominent uses of red, there are a lot of great uses of the color throughout the film that are worth celebrating. I think I'm ready to get behind this movie for the purposes of this ranking and nothing else. Oh, except it's amazing looking water. It's great in that category as well.
You probably don't recognize me because of the red.
At first glance, The Force Awakens seems to be taking direct influence from A New Hope in terms of not really having a lot of red. Seriously, the first hour or so is rough, with us having to rely on short bursts like Rey's speeder on Jakku or the bloody handprint on Finn's helmet to give us our red fix. Otherwise, there's some lighting here and there with a bit of red on top of Kylo's flashy lightsaber and these goons that go after Han Solo, but nothing all that substantial. Fortunately, we get a nice concentration of a bunch of funny red guys at Maz's castle, and this is soon followed by an intense, fear-inducing burst of nefarious red. The flags adorning Hux's fascist rally are the precursor to the laser from Starkiller Base, destroying not Coruscant in a terrifying use of red. One of the most effectively red scenes in the saga. But wait, it gets even better. The scene where Han confronts Kylo has absolutely impeccable red lighting, and a magnificent use of red to symbolize the evil that has consumed Kylo's mind. The way Han's face slowly gets engulfed by red as he tries to reach out to his son. The The way the blue peeks out from Kylo's face to show that he's conflicted and that Ben is trying to emerge. And the way that blue disappears once the sun goes down and it becomes clear to Kylo that the weapon is fully charged. He's consumed by red again because he can't let go of his evil ambitions. The color on his face tells the story. That's what I like to see in my red Star Wars movies. Add in the incredible way Kylo's lightsaber illuminates the snowy forest, the way it forms purple light when it clashes with the blue lightsaber, the way his and Rey's faces flash between red and blue when they're in a deadlock. Oh man, it's kind of insulting how well directed the sequels are. The Force Awakens has some of the rawest red scenes in all of Star Wars. It's impossible to deny that. Did I miss anything from this movie? Oh, the red arm! 3PO has a red arm in this one!
Activate your homing beacon when you're ready.
Revenge of the Sith, baby. Red on the Republic cruisers. Red on Obi-Wan's ship. Red on R4, who gets killed almost immediately. Well, we can't win them all. This was the first Star Wars movie to actually have more than 2 lightsaber fights, meaning we actually get to see those red blades in action across the entire film. Dooku's lightsaber looks as vibrant and vivid as it did in the previous film. And I love how Anakin catches it and uses it alongside his blue one to decapitate Dooku. He's got 1 foot in the door of the Jedi and 1 in the door of the Sith at this point. And Dooku's face is even entirely illuminated by red before his death. He's been consumed by the dark side entirely, and now it has become his undoing. God, I love color symbolism. The regal carpet adorning the exterior of the Senate building makes for a great backdrop for Anakin and Padme to reunite by. We get some old locations from the previous... What's up? Yeah, I'm not answering that, dog. And we get some old locations from the previous prequels, and some nice Utapau fits to tide us over until it's time for Palpatine to reveal himself to Anakin, wearing all red because that's the Sith color. What did George mean by this? And the Senate obviously keeps that outfit on when he ignites his red lightsaber and does battle with Master Windu and friends. And once again, Palpatine's walls and floors are red. Mace is truly surrounded on all sides in this den of evil. A den which makes for this incredible, ominous backdrop when Anakin officially becomes Darth Vader. Damn, it took him 30 years, but George Lucas finally learned how to use red effectively. And in greater numbers than any of his previous films. Let's cut the shit. You know what we need to talk about. Mustafar. Finally, this is the glorious red planet of my dreams. I've been waiting this whole saga for a location like this. The hellish atmosphere is a perfect reflection of Anakin's descent into evil. The lava may be orange, but the air is thick with redness, so fiery and potent that I can almost taste it. And even when we cut away from Mustafar in this last portion of the film, we got Palpatine going full mask off and declaring himself dictator for life while wearing all red, as well as whacking Yoda with his red laser sword. Even the clone troopers who report to him are wearing red. You're gonna get your red fix no matter what in this movie. It's everything you could possibly ask for in the conclusion of a saga that, quite frankly, should have been redder. I'm incredibly happy with the redness Revenge of the Sith puts forth. It's used to such meaningful effect to symbolize the darkness present in this world going up in flames. But there's one movie that used red even better.
I wish I could visit this beautiful red town.
I always knew this weird little freak of a movie would win one day. Yes, folks, The Last Jedi has finally come in first in one of these rankings. Actually, I'm pretty sure this is the first win for the sequel trilogy in general, so that's pretty monumental. But yes, I think this film has the most brilliant use of the color red in the entire saga. You just gotta wait a bit for it to get great, which also applies to the movie as a whole. There's a glimpse of Snoke's sinister red throne room and his crimson Praetorian guards early on. Plus on the casino planet, with red tables mind you, Finn and Rose's main goal is to find a code breaker with a red lapel. red is the goal here. You see what I'm talking about? Okay, the first half of the movie could certainly be redder. Though it makes sense why locations like Ahch-To are pretty devoid of it. And hey, it's not like our runner-up Revenge of the Sith had a ton of red during the first half either. But it's all worth the build-up in both of these movies' cases. We return to Snoke's throne room, and after he's dispatched by Kylo turning the lightsaber and killing him, we then get the reddest fight scene in Star Wars history. Red rooms, red guards, at least one red lightsaber, and all of it visually cohesive and cool. Yeah, this fight is cool. I don't want to hear it. I know the choreography is a little wonky, but like, I don't know. My dumb baby brain thinks it's cool. Most importantly, the various shades of red here contrast with each other a lot better than the blue stuff on Exegol. And seeing the successors to the Red Imperial Guards in an epic fight scene, oh man, he did it for you, Crayola. Rian Johnson made this fight scene specifically for my Lego OC from when I was 9. As red as this is, I don't think it's quite enough to propel this movie to the #1 slot. Good thing Crate exists! The planet where every trail you make on the ground leaves behind red salt. The sight of these speeders skimming across the surface and expelling red behind them is awe-inspiring. The red salt is also an amazing stand-in for blood, which is entirely appropriate since the First Order has been massacring the Resistance the entire film. This shot of the bunker exterior covered in blood red salt is one of the coolest shots in all of Star Wars. And the fucking cacophony of red that erupts when Kylo orders every gun they have to fire on that man. Are you kidding me? If you wanted to make a Star Wars movie that looks this good today, they would take you out back and shoot you. I should know. I've seen the trailer for The Mandalorian and Grogu. Anyway, the real piece de resistance with this red salt business is when Kylo slashes through Luke and it seems like he slides through red blood. But no, it's just the salt. Because Luke isn't here to bleed. Raw as hell. The Last Jedi truly is the master at using red. I still don't like this movie as a whole, mind you. It's been 8 years and I still do not think it's very good, but damn it, it has some great shit in it. This whole confrontation between Luke and Kylo rules, and it's all thanks to the fact that this is the best movie in the entire Star Wars saga when it comes to using the color red. So what did we learn today? I think we learned that these Star Wars ranking videos can and will get dumber. I will always find a way to one-up myself. Don't test me. I'm gonna start ranking these fucking films by the tiniest alien creatures they have. I will figure out which alien is the tiniest in all 9 of them, and that will be the criteria by which they are ranked. Maybe Rise of Skywalker will actually stand a fucking chance for once, if I decide to make it. Actually, if it means Rise of Skywalker will get a win, maybe I won't. Good night, Tri-State Galaxy.